Hey guys, it's Byron here to testify for Jesus Christ. This picture, this video, how it's looking right now is the direct result of me becoming frustrated with this backlight back here. So I just thought I'm going to run it over here and make it just totally black me out, and people think I'm trying to go incognito. All right, this is about the revolution. And, there's a lot of things that I could say about the revolution, some things that people may know about. Some things they don't, some things that I don't know about that they do. So, we're all learning together what all's going on. But recently I had a dream, and this is probably about a month old. Today is 8/23/2016. But recently I had a dream in which people from the revolution were calling me on the telephone. Then later, after listening to some broadcasts after the shootings in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, this is not just after the first shooting, but the second shooting that they had. And when I heard the newscast, I realized why I'd heard the word revolution inside my dream. And let me say what the guy on the newscast mentioned in the newscast. He said, as a part of the normal broadcasting, he was like a guest speaker on the newscast. But he says, we have to understand this is not just a shooting in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in which police were killed. He said, we have to understand this is a revolution, a Marxist type revolution. And when he said that, that made my dream make sense. It also made me realize, if you look on my website, www.junipertreeandbeyond.com, I have some things there called the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. For the most part, the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion actually tells you about Marxist revolutions. So anyway, here's the dream, and I'm going to keep it brief. A lot of the details are not coming out just for brevity. But anyway, at the first part of this dream, I was getting a call on the telephone, and I knew somehow, I just heard the words, or it was spoken. These people are calling from the revolution. And I decided to ignore the call. I've got one of those phones at home where when somebody calls after the second or third ring, a voice comes on there and it says call from so and so, So it was like that. It was like, this is a call from the revolution. I chose not to take the call. I went on about my business. And it just so happens this is what I think is important in a dream. I was walking through an amusement park, and I saw a ride in the amusement park that I wanted to get on, and I began to run up the stairs of the ride. It wasn't more than maybe 8 to 10 stairs, something that you could kind of get a little momentum and skip 3 or 4 stairs with each step and be at the top within 3 steps. And that's what I was doing. But in the process of doing it, my hand came out and hit a young man in the nose. And when it hit the young man in the nose, I thought, well, that didn't hurt him that bad. I'm just going to play with him. And I did my fingers. I don't know if you ever grabbed your thumb between the index and forefinger and pretended it was someone's nose, but I did like that. I said, look, I got your nose. And that was the end of it. The kid went on about his business. I went about my business until later in the dream, somebody came up to me and said, hey, the people from the revolution are on the phone with you. And I thought, well, this is the second call from the people on the revolution. I better take the call. So I took the call. When I took the call, the people on the other end of the line, the people from the revolution, stated, we need to know what happened. And I'm thinking, and literally in the dream, I was thinking to myself, nothing has really significant in this dream has happened unless they possibly are talking about me upsetting this kid by hitting him in the nose on accident and playing with him. Shortly after that, I woke up, and I've spent it's been maybe a month or so since the dream. Several thoughts have come to my mind, but what I started thinking about is, and I've heard of this in other countries, especially of late in Russia, where you can't share the gospel of Christ. And then I've heard people use that in it like it's offensive to people, or you can only share or talk about it with people that already have it. Don't get my child to follow you or things like that. So we know the commission, the Great Commission says, "Go ye therefore into all nations, preaching and teaching the gospel." But then yet we may be confronted with a situation where the people from the revolution are offended, and they're going to make it a point uh, to make a big deal over, well, you're going to affect my kid or something like that. Having said all that, I feel as if the Lord is just preparing us for that being an opportunity. The Lord has already shown me I will be arrested for an activity in the future. I don't know exactly what the activity is. However, when I did have this dream and began to think about it, I thought, well, Lord, is that what's going to happen? Am I going to be arrested for offending people's children by telling them about Jesus Christ? I don't know. But the good news, and this is the good news, is that many times, and of late, I've put a video up about the Russian soldiers. It's like I stood face to face with a Russian soldier and lived. The Lord has shown me that particular instance, plus probably 6 to 7 other instances. And if you look back in my videos, you can see them, of where I survived, where I made it through this point. And I think what's critical for me to mention right now, and I haven't done this publicly, but at one time the Lord showed me about Joshua and Caleb. He said, the people are waiting for Joshua and Caleb. And I've spent probably over a year considering that. And it's becoming very clear to me now that for the most part, people understand hard times are coming. For the most part, those people that still believe everything's going to be rosy are just listening to wolves. But that being the case, those of us who believe that we're going to go through hard times need to start being similar to Joshua and Caleb, because Joshua and Caleb saw things in front of the nation of Israel that were, huge. They realized that these things are probably bigger than us, and they thought tough times are coming. But they believed that the Lord was going to do what He had promised to do. And I think from just the I call them videos, man, that my dreams, the things the Lord has given me, I'm seeing where He's showing me, Byron, you can make it. You can get through this. I will cover you. I'll protect you. And I think that protection has a stipulation in that we obey. And obeying is, you can say having faith in the Lord is obedience. Just having enough faith to actually qualify as faith, into which you believe that the Lord can do these things that He has said He will do. So anyway, that is maybe the second time I've mentioned about Joshua and Caleb. I think it's very important as we start to see things looking negative around us. It is probably looking negative around us to try our faith. Do we believe the Lord can sustain us through something? He's done it with His people before. He's shown me that He can do it again. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm sorry. I'm gonna come up with somehow the way to fix this backlighting thing. I didn't intend to go incognito, but I thought, well, hey, I'm not even gonna fight it right now. I'm just gonna record the video. So thanks for your time. Even though it appears that I'm not that interactive out there as far as comments and socialization and things like that, I want you to know I love you people, and I love Christ. And we don't know His total plan, but we know enough to know that we have to follow in obedience and do what we feel as if He's led us to do. And each of us have a role, man. And, I don't know that a person can put a weight to a role. I mean, if their job is to support or financially, or if their job is to pray, as far as intercessory prayer, or if their job is to make videos, or if their job is to go out in the streets, we can't put a value on what each of us do and consider one different than the other. We have to look at it as if in the body are many members, and the whole of the members complete the body. And that's important. It's important for us to realize whatever small portion we have uh, adds cumulatively to a huge portion. So I'm going to let you go, and I'll be back with a fix to this backlighting issue. Thank you.